Back to Joy Ani Scrapping in My Own Private Idaho, and today I am going to share 2 days from Chrissy's Beautiful Life. This day is by day number 8, and it is by Brianna Spohr, and this is a really fun layout. It works perfectly. So this is a 9 by 9 um, this is a 9 by 9 album, and this works really well for the smaller ones. I don't normally just have one photo, but I only had one photo of them in front of the Christmas tree at Disneyland, so that's what I used. So um, you can see from Diana's, I followed it fairly closely. She has one large picture, which I have as well. She does have some mixed media. What I used was I had this was an 8.5 by 11 scrapbook workshop for Disney. It was called The Happiest Place on Earth, and it was a cut above. And so I just used one of those pre-made pages. I made it so that it was 9 by 9, which means I added around it. So what I did with this is I often gut my paper, but the problem with gutting your paper, if you have a striped paper, is that I don't always like how it looks. I'm going to try to give you an example. And so what I did was I mitered it. So if you look at the top, instead of gutting it, I just cut 1/2 of my stripe. I wanted my stripes to go this way and not go horizontally. So I cut my strips, and then I just put one at the top. I had them meet. That's the easiest way. Then you can see from the picture, I tried to go a little bit differently, and I tried to miter my corners. And I kind of learned that when I used to sew, we would miter, which was a very hard thing to do. I would love to see them come up with a little tool that would kind of, if it was just like a punch, wouldn't that be great if we had a punch and it could miter? I would totally be all about that. So anyway, so that is that layout. And what I loved about this layout was I have, in this style of layout, there's a reason we keep all of our stuff. And so I had several sticker sheets. This is actually, so the arrows come from a zip strip. And I have always been a great fan of the zip strips. So zip strips was something that close to my heart had. They put it at the top of the paper. All the information, the branding information is on the back, and then you have these cool things that went on the front. And you can see these little arrows are perfect for this style of layout. And I just absolutely love that. These are also cut out from zip strips. This is stickers. These were from little pop dots. This one I cut out from a PML card. So if you have, because I find it therapeutic, I really do like to fussy cut. So fussy cutting is right up my alley. So if you like to fussy cut, what I've been doing is I've just been cutting out small little things like this from zip strips and putting them in a bag, and then when I go to work on a theme, like all my Disney things are together, and that works out really well. But anyway, this was so fun. It went fast. This is one of the fastest layouts I did. So I would challenge you. I did add a little bit of sponging. Probably if I used oxide, it would show up a little bit better. And the stenciling. But anyway, I just wanted to finish a layout that was really fast and quick, and this was one of them, and I love it. Thank you, Brianna Spohr. You always have such fun layouts for us to do. If you want to see other people's take on this, be sure to go to Christy's Beautiful Life, and there's a whole playlist. If you just type in 30 Days of Sketches, and I will I'm trying to figure out how that you can just click on that and go to it. I haven't yet figured that out. And so I will be working on that, but you could also go to the Facebook page and see what other people have done. Not everybody does videos, so I like to go through when I'm starting a layout and I am behind. The benefit of being behind, so I'm finishing 8 and 9 today, and today is actually the 15th, so I'm like a week behind. But the benefit of being behind is you get to look at the knowledge and the ability of everybody else, and it really does. It makes it easier. If you're the first one out of the gate and you're finishing trying to do these things, it's a little bit harder. But anyway, so this is layout number 8. Thank you, Brianna Spores, for this one. I'm going to set this one aside. I think today I finished 3 layouts, and those of you who know, have gone to retreats with me, I don't always get that much done in an entire weekend. So this is another one. I'm using up my, this is a swap. So the local girls and I, we do a title swap. So I come up with the themes, we swap once a month, and I love it. And I've been doing a really good job of using up my title. I'm not as good as Cindy Arthur, but we can't all be that talented. I'm covering up people's faces. But this brings me to this next layout. So this next layout I'm making, it's a continuation of using that same 9x9 album. This is the layout. And so this was an example of looking at what other people did. So I wasn't for sure what I did. So most of the ones that I saw on Chrissy's Beautiful Life, they did theirs with stencils. I like to do mixed media, but I am not a professional at it. And I actually even had the stencil or the overlay that looks exactly like it. I popped over to one gal's, I cannot remember her name. I looked at hers and we had the exact same stencil. And I thought, well, isn't that just so funny that she has the same stencil as I do for this heart one? And of course now I can't find it now that I'm filming. But my brain started thinking, it's like, I'd rather do this out of paper. So this is what I did. So I went on my, I like this look of the differing stars, a different heart shape. And one of my goals, I was with Close to My Heart for 17 years. I switched over to Stampin' Up 2 years ago, a little bit more than 2 years ago. And one of my goals is I don't want to have a library of, I want to use up the paper packs that I buy. So I bought this one, and this one's called, the workshop is called Love Story, and I really like it. And these were, they used colors that I would have never put together on a bed. And at first I didn't like them, I couldn't use them together. It almost made me cringe, but now I really like them. So I'll show you what I did. So you can see from hers, she has, it looks like she has a solid color, which I chose this one. This is in the workshop kit. So this color is in the workshop kit. It is Flirty Flamingo. And at first I didn't think it went with red, but I just have to trust him. So I cut this. So my, let's go ahead. So I put black. Anytime you are wanting to calm things down a little bit, if you've got bright colors, you can use a black and it will help things calm. And so I went ahead and I just like, there's something about black and red that I really like. I think it looks so nice together. So I cut my 9x9, and then I needed a white base, and so I cut an 8.5 by 8.5 to go in this 9x9 album. The next thing that I did was I am going to put this color down here, and we're going to pick this color up, and I'm going to show you what I did with my Cricut cuts. I am going to share this design space file. This Cricut design space file that I'm using originally came from the art booking cartridge. Even before Close to My Heart had Cricut cartridges that they sold, I have always been in love with Cricut. And I had probably 100 cartridges, and when they came out with, the first one they came out with was Art Philosophy, and that is and the whole, they had art philosophy, art booking. Artfully was cards, and I'm not so much cards. But anyway, the Close to My Heart cartridges, they were expensive. They were like $100 originally, and now I think you can get them for $49. Of course, it's not Close to My Heart anymore. I think after 4 or 5 years, then they went back to Cricket. But those were the best cartridges ever. So this color from the paper pack is cut at 1 inch, and this is a 1/2 inch. So that's going to give me a balance. And I am making this a 2-page paper because I just don't know what to do with myself. So here I go. So I'm going to put that, and that's really why I never finished Chrissy's Beautiful Life. It's because I don't just make 30 pages. It's right at 60. I mean, there'll be a few one-pagers. I have made a few one-pagers on this one, but I normally do 2. So this is how I got this heart overlay. I didn't want to use mixed media because I had this paper and I had this idea and it matched the little girl's clothing so well. So I wanted to use this. So what I did was, this is what I cut. So this is the actual, when you cut out this file, it is, it's about 5 inches by 11. So I cut it out in the 3 colors that were in this particular layout. I'm going to bring this other color in so it will make a little bit more sense to you. So this is my second page that I created to go with this. So you can see that these colors are in the paper pack, and I repeated what I was going to do. I repeated this into here so that it will draw across and make it look like they were always meant together when actually the sketch was only a 1-page sketch. So what I did was I cut 3 of these. Actually, I cut 4 of them because I was trying to match this, but then I just didn't like, I couldn't stretch it that much. I might throw a couple of these in here to just pull it through because that color is in there. So I might hack off a few hearts and put it over here. I haven't decided yet. So I cut these out, and I wanted the red ones on the bottom. So what I did was I cut the first 2 rows, and I cut 2 of them. So I'll show you. So see how these are? So I simply made my 2 rows. So I went this way, and you can do this if you are like a computer nerd, which I am not. I'm great at cutting things apart. I'm not so great. I just don't have the patience to move things around. So what I did was I cut the first 2 rows like this, and I put them down here like this, so that they fit. And then I did the same thing. So I did that in real red, and then I did it in Flirty Flamingo, and then I have a few of these spares. Now on her layout, because she's doing a 12 by 12, you can see that she has 1 row, 2 rows, and 3 rows. I don't have that many because you give up some real estate when you go ahead and do an 8 by 8. So I have 2 layers of this, and they don't have to match up perfectly because you are putting pictures over the top. Now the video that I was watching of the lady that gave me the idea, she drew, and I wish I had the time. If I had the time and the patience, she drew a black pin around each one of these hearts, and I think that would look fantastic. Am I going to do that? No, because I just don't have the patience to do that. So you can see how I have some hearts that aren't matching. I'm not real concerned with that. I'm going to put my pictures on, and if it doesn't cover it up, then I am going to cut out a heart and stick one that matches. So, if you have, even if you are a person that doesn't have design space, if you have this cartridge, you could do this layout, and it's called Art Booking. And I will leave the link below. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, this is the 2 pictures. I'm going to put them down first because I like to kind of set them in. So I've got my basics. I got the guts of my layout again. And so I'm going to have this be right here. I kind of want it to go a little bit, if it was a perfect world, and I'm going to move this up because I worked so hard to have this down here. I want it to have, and see how that heart is kind of, it's not a whole heart. Have no fear, because when you do this, what I'll do is, okay, that one's that size. It's probably this one right here. I am just going to cut it out, and I will make a perfect heart there, and I can layer them. I am not concerned about that at all. And that does kind of bug me that that heart is just kind of hanging out. So I'm just cutting them off this one. And I will throw this in the bottom when I'm done with this layout. So I'll just put it like there. Voila. And actually I like that better because it gives it a little bit of depth and dimension. So remember, there are no mistakes in scrapbooking, only opportunities to embellish. So we're going to put this right here. And I like them to go a little bit closer. I don't want to cover up anything, but I like it to be, the love to be over it, so it's not like a gaposis. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm happy with that. And, oops, got to cover up my grandson. This is the other grandparents. So, you know, you have two sets of grandparents, and this is the other set for my grandson. And this is her. It's top secret. I'm making her a Mother's Day present for my daughter to give to her, and it will have her grandkids. So we've got the cousins on there. And it's kind of true confessions. It is kind of creepy how I've gotten these pictures because they're not, you know, it's not of me. I do have Christmas with them occasionally, but I creep on them. I mean, I go to Facebook and you can get pictures off of Facebook if they're your friend, and so I go off the other daughter-in-laws, and that's how I get the pictures. But it's always kind of funny when I give a book to people, they'll look at me and thinking, how on earth, hey, you're a creeper, how on earth did you get pictures of my grandkids? Oh, well, you know, we have our ways. And it is, and I guess that's kind of a cautionary tale too. I guess we should be cautious of what we're putting on there. So see how that one's kind of blank? So I'll put a little heart here. And I have extras, and it works out really well because see how I've repeated these colors and these patterns? So that one is right over there. So, but anyway, so yeah, this was so fun. I enjoyed both of these, and I actually, if I did not do a lot of mixed media because I was trying to get stuff done today, and I love mixed media, but oh my goodness, you have to have, when I'm messy, I'm very messy. So it's like, I didn't have an hour to clean up my spots. So anyway, so that is my 2-page layout. And that is so I've used up one of my titles. Thank you, Tiffany, for making this beautiful layout. And actually, I'll put these hearts on here somewhere. And I think I'm going to put some pink ones over here just to tie them all together. So when you come on, you'll see what I finally decided. It will be the final take of things. So anyway, I hope you will join in to Christy's Beautiful Life. And if you are looking for inspiration, honestly, I have done I think I've done about 12 pages since March 1st. And that may be, well, I know I've only done 30 layouts all year long, and when I started this, I was just starting February, so I've already done like 9 pages. So it does give you inspiration, and if you know, it's like I get up in the morning and think, oh, this is the sketch I'm going to make, and it's just, I think about it all day long and think, oh, what pictures am I going to use, what paper. So it's great fun, and I just really appreciate this. This layout is by Fatima Avila, and I so appreciate all of the girls that are drawing the sketches, and they offer it to us for free. And Christy Hartman, she puts this together 3 times a year, and it's a big deal, and there's so many people behind the scenes. If you have any questions um, for Christy's Beautiful Life, they just jump right in and help you out, and it's just a really fun community. So I hope you had a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.